December 1st, and we're going to talk about the not trade, but mock trade, I guess, if you want to call it that, that I took today. And I'm basically just going to talk over my bias for the day. Okay, I didn't float camera to the top. Hold on. Shoot. There we are. Bang. Okay. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that was one of the reasons why I didn't actually take this trade is because I haven't traded in a while, and I just wanted to make sure that I'm right in the right headspace, everything like that. And yeah, pretty much I'll just explain what I was seeing this morning and how I think I can improve and how I think I did good. So, if we look at the hourly, overall, in the 4 hour as well, we're bearish on the 4 hour, and it looks like now we did actually have a break of structure on the hourly, but that could just be a 4 hour retracement. So overall, coming to market open, we were bearish on the hourly, we were bearish on the 4 hour. So me looking at this, I saw this gap. I didn't honestly think a whole lot of it, I mean, overall, I think by the end of today, we will probably have taken out these lows. We'll see. We'll see if that happens. But I thought that, there are some pretty strong low resistance draws on liquidity here. And then if we do take those out, we'll probably want to come up and fill this gap in. If we inverse it, then there's a high probability that we're going to go up. But in my opinion, I think just based on market structure, this is probably just a decent sized retracement, and we'll probably end up wanting to push a little bit lower. And obviously, we'll see if that happens. And yeah, but overall, looking at market today, I saw and I kind of noticed, okay, where's my consolidation manipulation? I saw consolidation. Let's see if this is even going to work. Consolidation here, and then manipulation here, and then this was obviously our extension reversal, and then on ES had the same thing, consolidation. Yeah, see, it just doesn't want to work now. But here's our manipulation, and then our extension, and obviously ES was far more of an extension, and I'll kind of walk through it as well. But yeah, overall, coming into market open, we had a decent amount of low resistance liquidity to the upside and not a whole lot to the downside. So already my bias was bullish coming into the day, but we needed to act on that reasonably and only act on it when it made sense. So right off of RIP, we came up and we swept out these lows on ES. We did not on NASDAQ. Okay, these highs, and we didn't sweep them out on NASDAQ. So that's already saying, okay, bearish SMT to the downside. All right, we complete that SMT by sweeping out these lows on a NASDAQ, and then we form another SMT right here. And this is basically saying, okay, we got our liquidity sweep, and this was our 5-minute retracement. So now what are we looking for? A break of structure. We got a break of structure right here. Yes, I know it's a big candle, and obviously it did not give us the best risk to reward, but this is still a decent confluence trade, and we had reason to take it. We already had swept up these lows. The only thing that also made me a little weary about it is we made equal lows with these lows, which obviously most of the time get taken out. But if we look on NASDAQ, we also had like equal highs here, and then we had relatively close highs on ES. So that was kind of my bias for the day. We ended up inversing this gap. I kind of had this here, for possible reversals, seeing what happens. And then we ended up coming into equilibrium, sweeping out these highs, and then now it looks like we're moving down. So we just pretty much filled in that fair value gap, and now we're moving down. So that's probably going to give me more confidence that at some point today we are going to end up taking out these lows. Going from there, we will probably come down and sweep out these lows as well. We'll see if we want to get all the way down here. but overall that is higher resistance liquidity, and that would be a more of a high time frame play. I think this is the trade that I could have taken if I would have taken any. But overall, like I said, I just kind of came into the market and knowing that I haven't traded in pretty much a week, I just wanted to make sure that I'm dialed in. I want to make sure that, I didn't forget anything, I guess, or, lose some of that intuition. And overall, I think I did very well. And I'm trying to be quiet right now because, yeah. But overall, yeah, I think this is gonna be a great week. I'm very excited to see what the market brings. And we had PMI this morning. That didn't do anything. That was at 9. And then I forget exactly what we have the rest of the week. Let's see, actually. The rest of the week we have nothing tomorrow. And then ISM services. So unemployment claims later could be pretty much the only thing that does stuff this week. So we'll have to see. But yeah, overall I'm content with today. I think I had some decent market intuition. I think right at the start I didn't really know exactly where price was wanting to go, but once price started developing, I think I had a pretty clear idea of what was going on, and overall that idea ended up playing out. So I think what I did well was the fact that I was patient, didn't enter off of something like this, or didn't enter off of something like this, like just to break a structure. And I waited for an SMT to form and have a liquidity sweep happen. And then I had strong draws that I was targeting, and I think that was overall the good that I did today. And also, I noticed market structure, and I feel like that's been something that's been very powerful for me, is just noticing these market structure patterns, consolidation, manipulation, reversal, and just letting those play out. And they seem to almost all the time play out, which is obviously why they're market patterns. But yeah, I think this is a great day. I'm excited to see what the rest of the week brings. I think for improvement, I could have obviously noticed that we have a lot more draws of liquidity to the upside than to the downside. But again, we also did have this sweep right here as well. I also think that obviously if this is a different day, could have done better on actually entering into the trade, because I feel like that does happen if I do take like a mock trade and it's just something that I basically just throw on the screen. It's almost popping off the screen for me, and I feel like if I would just enter off of those, I would do a lot better. So maybe I need to just start doing that. But yeah, I think I did good today. I'm excited to see where the rest of the week brings.